Hello, it's Rachel Haskins with Ideally Crazy, and today I have another special guest.
DayStanya Wright.
This is Ms.DayStanya Wright, but I call her Day. I know if I know the guest, I call them by what I know them as. And so I've been knowing her for over 20 some years. We were roommates at WKU, me, her, and my best friend Brandy. And they came like a year after us. So she was kind of like our little sister. But when I tell you she's just as loving, like I kind of still see her like that because she is still the same person, just as loving and welcoming and warming as ever. Like we just automatically click. She's just, some people just have a warm heart. And I, like when she came tonight, I was talking to her about something, but I could, like I'm a people that I person that I can feel things, so I can feel stuff out. I was like, I said, and you still got that big old heart. Like I can feel that who she is. And so I wanted to bring her on because she has been working on a lot of special things and doing a lot of great works. I mean, sis is getting things done in the city. And she has, you guys know I always talk about the type of character people that I like to put on my platform. She definitely has a type of character that I want to put on my platform. So I'll let her tell you a little bit about herself.
So my name is DayStanya Wright. I am a mother of three, well, two and a bonus son. I am newly widowed. I am the owner of A Beautiful Day podcast, which will be coming soon. And I'm also the owner of A Beautiful Day restaurant management and consultation. I've thrown many events in the city. I've opened up a few restaurants in the city and in the region. And I mean, I'm the one that knows a little bit about a whole lot. So it ain't a whole lot that I don't know about or that I can't tell you about or that I don't have the resources to be able to send you to. So this is what I do.
I know that's right. As I said, she's been doing big things in the city and she's about to do even more. You hear me? And I'm right behind her. I'm definitely supporting her in everything she does because when I tell you she's a really good person, I always say that God uses people that he knows that he can trust. Mm-hmm. And so people always want to say where we are. You guys know I tell you about Elijah in the Bible and how he thought he was the only prophet out there. And he said, y'all know how I get with these numbers again. I think it was 7,000. He said, I got 7,000 that still ain't bowed. Well, let's say it's modern day. Miss Day would be considered, because that's the other name I used to call her. Yeah. The Day would be considered one of those 7,000. But you know how I do. I get right into my questions. You and I go way back to our college days at Western Kentucky University. Hey, Hilltoppers. When you think about your childhood and the young woman you were back then, what experiences do you believe planted the seeds for the resilient, multifaceted woman you are today?
You know, that's interesting. That's a good question. First of all, I was never popular. When I grew up, I didn't really have very many friends. I only had a handful of friends. My childhood was mostly taking care of my little brother because it was just me, my mom, and my little brother. Shout out to Denzel. That's my baby. But yeah, it was always just us. So I think that it's really just my resilience has come from a place of just always having to get it, always having to have a hustler mentality. I mean, you know, the generation that we came up in, we was working at what, like 14?
13. Yeah. Like, I was like, I had a job since I was 13.
Literally, like McDonald's in Portland was my first job, 22nd in Portland. So that's where I got busy at, first job. You ain't even from Louisville if your first job wasn't like a restaurant.
Mine was a summer camp.
Oh, okay. So yeah, she ain't from here, but yeah. So been working since 14 and really just wanting to break generational curses. I always told myself, and I seen how hard that my mom had to work. You know, and she was one of my biggest motivators, and just understanding that when I had children of my own, I did not want them to have to live the same life. Not saying that mine was bad, because I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it had its ebbs and flows, but just saying that I knew that the example that my mom set, I just knew I wanted something more for my kids so that they could actually live a fulfilling childhood. They can travel and just do the things that I couldn't. So resilience just came from wanting more for myself and for my children ultimately.
I completely understand what you're saying. I told my guest last week, I said it's like we had good mothers, but in everything, if we gonna get better, we can't do everything the same.
Right, exactly.
We stand on the shoulders of, the people that, came before us. And so one of my things is travel. Like my family traveled, we went places, but it was always with church functions. So we never really got to do it. My daddy would get there and still have to pay like $4,000 offerings. So how do you think it affected the family?
Right.
Because it was part of a church thing.
Yeah.
So I learned two things. One, that wasn't something I wanted to be a part of. And then two, I wanted to travel. There was so much. And then, they never had them conventions out of the country.
Right.
It never was by beach.
Right.
And so I was like, there's so much more to the world that I wanted to give. I thank my parents for even being able to take me anywhere. And I understood what they were trying to plant into me, which they did. But I grew that. And so my love from travel came there. And then I heard you say like how you wasn't a popular kid. I was kind of known, but I was awkward.
Yeah.
So I was a Pentecostal girl. So I remember at first I couldn't even wear pants. So I wore skirts all the time. And so that made me stand out. And I was a little bit shy. And I remember and then, when you growing into yourself, you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I got to play outside a little bit, but when most people would get to play outside all day and every day, I would have to be at church. So the kids in the neighborhood didn't even know me well. Yeah. And so I remember I was standing on the bus stop and this little boy was I was so shy and it was raining. So I was tucked in underneath an umbrella. And they was how the guys used to do, they would judge girls or they was like, so-and-so, she's cold. They was like, no, but she's colder. And I was like, and the little boy was like, put your umbrella there. I was like, no.
Right, because please.
I didn't even know him.
Please,
please, no.
Please don't feel frustrated.
And so, even with that, being this, I wasn't worried about no little boy. I was just happy to be playing. Yeah. But even stuff like that would make, sometimes the neighborhood, the girls that I thought were my friends, one day they end up trying to jump me, on my way home from school. And I remember one of their days, I was such a sweet little girl that all their parents liked me. So his daughter was in the front of the group of girls that was trying to jump me. And he seen them follow me home. And I heard he came outside. He said, leave that little girl alone. Yeah. So I always say even though and then God gave me play cousins, and they not my play cousins because some of them are tighter than my real cousins, and not that me and my real cousins aren't tight. It's just that I was in church with them all the time, so they really are my family. I would be with them. That was the only house.
Blood could only make us closer.
Blood could only make us closer. My parents didn't trust me nowhere else. They would let me spend a night there. I couldn't spend a night with a lot of my family members, right? And I understood why. And so they would after that, I would call them, they would come down there and they was always down the ride. So I always say that I always got what I needed. But if I could do things differently, I wanted my children to have a church relationship. And I did also want them to have a relationship within their community, because the people in your community, we're not supposed to stay in. Yeah. That's the thing. How does God's word get out if all y'all do is stay in? You got to go out. He said go out. The Bible says go out. Yeah. And if you notice, Jesus was always traveling. So that's what I am. I move around a lot. I told one job, I said, I don't stay nowhere too long because I got a lot of love to give and I got a lot of places to give it in. You hear me? But I'm going to go ahead and go to this next question. You wear many hats: mom, assistant executive producer, event planner, promoter, bartender, and industry leader, and podcast host. How did your upbringing in early life shape your work ethic and your ability to navigate so many different spaces with confidence?
I had to become a people person, I guess, because I had spent so much time being reserved. I spent so much time having to be in the house. I didn't really get to. So when I met y'all at Western, that was just that was the breakout. That was the breakout for me. I was away from home far enough, but not too far. So I was able to gain a sense of independence. Really, it started at Dawson when because I was in cosmetology school at Dawson. Yep. So junior and senior year really kind of helped me come out of my shell, but really being able to go off and go to college kind of actually helped me find who I was and find my voice. And from there, it just, I don't know, it was something about my personality. It was something about how I was able to make people feel comfortable. And I've never met a stranger. Like, I try my best, but I've never ran into anybody, or even in casual conversation, just had someone be like, they couldn't find anything. Like, we can just talk about anything. You just
so
string a
warm.
conversation up out of anything. And I think that was the reason why the name of my podcast and my business, A Beautiful Day, came about, because it's just like, one, who doesn't love a beautiful day? And then, it's just something about me, my personality, and I stopped having to be fearful of what other people think. It was more or less like speaking it into existence. Like, it's a beautiful day. Everybody loves a beautiful day. Everybody loves me. Like, I make myself so easy to love. So it came easy, came naturally.
I would say this: it's a beautiful day podcast, and with that being the name of the other, it's perfect for day, because I can sometimes see things as if they was yesterday. Like her bright smile, like she's always shined, like she's always had this glow, and like her smile is so illuminating, and it's always been like it. And so it's kind of hard to believe that you were ever reserved, because she's so warm. But you know what? I can kind of understand it, because at the same time, I think sometimes when people are so warm and big and like have a really good heart, God does kind of tuck them away for a little bit.
You got to protect your energy.
So people can't ruin them. Yeah. And so I can see how, like, because kids can be cruel. How he would take somebody that has a big heart and be like, well, you sit over here for you gonna have your time, but but we don't want nobody.
It was a lot. I mean, I didn't make it. My mama definitely didn't make it easy. She didn't know how to do her. So that's where cosmetology school came from. I had big glasses, because y'all know, but when you was on Medicaid, when we was younger, like, and all you had was the glasses that you could get on your insurance, they was thick. Like, now they shaving their mugs down, but baby, I can't see.
I know.
Not even a little bit. Like, not even a little bit. These is contacts. Like, I literally cannot see. So the glasses was thick. The smell was crazy. So I had, I think when I went and did everything, first of all, my smile was so crazy before I even got to this point, that when I went to U of L School of Dentistry, they the ones that got me together, I didn't have to pay anything. I had so many, I think I had like 8 teeth extracted at once, including my wisdom teeth. I had 2 reconstructive surgeries on my face. So the smile that she's talking about, hard work, like literally hard work, dedication, because it was braces, thick glasses, nappy hair, like it was a whole situation. So I was
all put together what
like, this was like typical bully. Like, I was giving them ammunition. So yeah, it just like, I always told myself, like, once I got over this hump, baby, y'all gonna get sick of me.
You hear me?
Y'all gonna get sick of me.
And let them get sick. You hear me? Because it's, you go through things in life, but to make you stronger, even though it don't feel good while you're going through them. But they absolutely do, because like you said, now God knew where you was going with this. Like, he knew what he had planned for you. So, and I told her, one of the scriptures I said, God said in the Bible that the steps of a good man are ordered by God. But guess who knew? It's not just men. When he says men, he's talking about a human being. Right. And so God knew her heart even as a little girl. You understand what I'm saying? And so even those little things, he knew that in the industry that we both are interested in, it can be kind of cutthroat, and people are, they just say whatever they want to say. I was telling her people had said stuff to me, and I'd be like, whoa, okay. Yeah. But we can take it. Because anything you say, you got to understand, when children go through certain stuff like that, it does. It hurts. It builds them. It breaks them to build them. Yeah. Because you ain't gonna lay down and die. You know what I'm saying? What am I gonna do? I ain't gonna. So now I got to the point where I was like, I don't care what people used to say stuff to me so much. I'd be like, I don't give what people say. You know what I'm saying? And I really meant that. And it wasn't coming from a nasty place. It was coming from a place that I'm not going to let y'all kill me.
Well, I kind of think it's not what you're called, it's what you answer to.
That's what you answer to.
So, exactly. And that's just the motto that, and kids have gotten crueler. Bullying has become worse, as, we are raising children.
Absolutely.
And so I've always encouraged my children to be leaders. And I'm so grateful that they move to the beat of their own drum, and they listen to their own voices. And I love that for them, and I'm so appreciative that I was able to be a catalyst for that, because they'll see all the time that as long as you ain't putting your hands on me, you can say whatever you want. You got a voice, you got a mouth. By all means, go for it. We done heard. I know for a fact I done heard some stuff about myself, and I was like, I did that.
Right.
I got to a point where I was like, I'm not like, I felt like I needed acceptance from people, right? So it's like when people were saying like, oh yeah, they did this and they did that, I was so quick to defend. And then as you get older, you just like, whatever you said I did it. Like
Period.
the way that my character, my personality, it precedes me. So if you know me, you
If you know
know
me, you
what I'm
love me.
capable of. You know, so if you believe I did it, by all
Absolutely.
means, baby, I did it. You
Absolutely.
absolutely right. Go for it. We gonna run with it. You
You're,
right.
and one thing I will say this, you're going to hear a little bit of everything about me.
Girl.
You heard me? And some of it I
About
did.
us.
Listen, and some of it I did do. some of it might not be a lie. Now, you know how people are. They like to tack a little bit on to some of it. But some of it might have some truth to it. But at the end of the day, one thing I said to her earlier, I don't know why I'm expected to be so perfect, but you working toward perfection. I gotta already be there, but you working toward it. So you know what? That's when I come right in. Ain't none of us ready to see the Lord until He say we ready to see Him. We're all working toward perfection. So at the end of the day, and one thing I always say to my kids, I said, don't let nobody make you ashamed about something you already know about yourself, because
live your truth.
Live your truth. And I was telling you hear me? I was telling somebody today. I said, they was telling me about, because my mouth, sometimes I cuss a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I know I'm always myself on her, because I don't want y'all to be in my presence and I'm different than what you think. I am who I say I am. You hear me?
Absolutely.
And so and they was talking to me. I said, well, I said the disciples cussed. And so she was saying something to me about it. I said, listen, I said the only difference between me and a lot of people, I said, I acknowledge what I do. I said a lot of people are not, when I realized that God truly loved me for who I am right here and right now, not when I get better, then why does anybody else's opinion matter to me?
And we're never going to be fully ready.
We're never going to be fully ready. And guess what? And He's always going to love you. He's going to love you now. He's going to love you when you're better. He's going to love you when you're worse. Yep. He loves you. Yep. And so when you got His love, that's all that matters. People are, they finicky. And most time, the people that are like it, they can't truly see themselves.
Yeah.
When people can truly see themselves, then I notice they're a lot less judgmental. But here's another thing. Well, my granny used to say, you got 6 months to sweep around your front porch and 6 months to stay off of mine.
There you go.
So if you truly put what you need to, I've never understood how people had the chance to worry about other people, because Rachel is a mess. And Rachel does have a lot of things going on. So I have to literally be intentional on the person that I am now, the person I'm becoming, and who I want to be. And so I don't have no time. One thing I will tell you, I never sit around and gossip about anybody. Even my friends on the phone, when we talking about stuff, Brandy's our other sister. I know it's my best friend. It was me, her, and Brandy in the dorm. But Brandy will, when we talk about stuff, it's always about business. It's always what she's doing. I'm talking about, we do not ever have any conversations about people. And I like to be around people like that, because that's what I'm doing in this season. And not just this, I've always been like it. It's never been on a point that I ain't working towards something. It's never been a point where I ever felt like that I had enough time to worry about nobody else. So I thank God. Let's say, one thing you said, you might look down on me, but I thank God for making me who I am. And you should try it.
You should try it.
You should try it.
I promise you'll love it here.
You'll love it here.
You'll love it here.
You're preparing to release a show. Well, you already did. I'm sorry. I had wrote these questions a while ago.
Well, no, we can still talk on it.
Okay.
We filmed it.
Okay.
We filmed it then.
You're preparing to release a show on January 10th. Well, it was filmed on January 10th with proceeds benefiting Sowing Seeds with Faith, but it was also filmed with the Super Chef. Can you share how your faith has guided this project and why it was important for you to connect your work to purpose and service?
That show was important for various reasons. One, I love a good redemption story. I love working alongside people who have been counted out. And the one thing I will say is we are all God's children. We are all going to fall short. The difference between what you see in the media and what you've done is that yours just haven't been broadcasted. That's the only difference. You still committing the same sins. You still doing the same, if not worse. It's just yours wasn't put on the world stage. And I'm always going to stand 10 toes with my brother. I love me some Super Chef. I talked to him earlier today. And we still got more things coming. But this show is extremely important for various reasons. One, we need to learn how to eat better. And that's really the main focus. And then a lot of things, if you know me, the majority of my network is chefs. And that's just where my realm and what I do. So my faith dictated that show, that filming that with him was important. One, because it wasn't anything that I asked for. It was an opportunity that fell into my lap. So being key PA for Super Chef versus Supermarket was something that was presented to me. It wasn't anything that I asked for. So that's how you know it was already ordained. And it just came natural. It's like one of those things where people see it in you and they know like, okay, this person will work best for this in this space. And that's just how it came. And so it was really all God. It was just me really being me and just sitting back and just allowing things to align as he would have it, and then just making sure that when the opportunities present themselves, when you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Period.
So it was one of those things. And again, like I said, love a good redemption story. This show is going to be one for the books because there's not another one like it. And the goal is to go on tour so that we can teach everybody how to eat healthy, how to cook meals, especially when you think about cooking in the aspect of I've heard people, I've even said myself, like, bro, I'm tired of eating the same thing. Like, can we get a new animal? Like, because if I eat chicken, fish, I eat it like one more time. And so we're giving you these ways to be able to recreate some of your favorite dishes, but also knowing how to shop for fresh produce, and letting the store shop for you, which people didn't know was a thing, but it's literally going into the store and not bulk shopping. It's taking the time out to shop 2 to 3 times a week, if not more, and just letting the store lead you in the direction of where you should shop, staying on the perimeter of the store, less in the aisles, and just paying attention to a lot of your fruit, your produce, your meat, what's on sale, what you can afford, and just buying meals for that day, maybe the next day, but no more than that, because we waste a whole lot of food when we bulk shop and consume like that. So it's a lot coming. I'm really excited for you guys to see it. And yeah, I don't want to speak too much on it, but definitely more to come on that. But it was all God, not us.
Absolutely. And I was going to talk about the redemption story, but we'll get to that in a minute. You guys, what she said is about the eating healthy. That is so important. Yes. And right now, you may not know how important that is, but there are some things coming.
Yes.
And they are already in the works. And so we are going to have to take care of our community. Mm-hmm. And part of taking care of your community is your diet. Mm-hmm. One thing I've mentioned, there's going to be a lot of different changes to Medicare and Medicaid. Mm-hmm. And so people are going to be, instead of being able to go to their primary care offices, they're going to be using the ER.
Yes.
And so a lot of, diseases are linked to your nutrition. Mm-hmm. So if we can, whatever we put in the body, if we can, get that better and make sure they're eating the way that we're supposed to be. And, nobody's asking perfection. Like she said, just some things that you can switch out every now and then. I always say to my clients, I'm not asking you to be somebody else. Mm-hmm. Just give me a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of times after they give a little bit, then they see how that works. And I'm like, okay, I can do so. Yeah, it becomes a life. Mm-hmm. I can do this. I'm used to this. I like it. They like what it is they like the benefits of it. Mm-hmm. Not only do you feel better, you feel lighter, your clothes feel good. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's not to like? You know what I'm saying?
But it starts with that first step, though.
It starts with that first step. Mm-hmm. And so I think that is so important. Like you said, the redemption story is great, but what y'all giving to the community. Mm-hmm. And with the redemption story, like she said, I always say that, I say God knows, people know the what, but God knows the why. Mm-hmm. And so that's why and no sin is worse than another. People don't like to admit that. Mm-hmm. They like to leave that out.
Yes.
But no sin is worse than another. So you telling a little white lie is not worse than somebody else doing whatever it is that they done. And we all won't forgive. Don't you want forgiveness when you do something? I never understand people counting people out for stuff unless it was just completely horrific. Mm-hmm. What would you want?
Grace.
Would you want grace?
Absolutely.
And most of y'all, if you did do some horrific, you still want a little grace. You hear me? Right. And the people that need the most grace don't never want to give you. Learn it. I was listening to Bishop T.D. Jakes tonight, and one thing that he said it was about something else. He said, the reason why you want certain things is because that's what you are. I can give grace because I'm a gracious person. Right. You know what I'm saying? I want grace because I am gracious. I want love because I'm a loving person. Right. You know what I'm saying? He said, you want what you are. That's what makes you want it. So you're not crazy. Mm-hmm. So if you want evil to be done to somebody else, then that's because you are a
evil person.
Evil person. Watch yourself. Check your spirits. I always say check your. In the Bible, there's the fruits of the spirit. If that's not what you saying, and quit excusing yourself for stuff. And it's not that you have to be perfect, but we definitely are working to be better because you just have a better life. I don't know. I don't want to be one of the people that are mad and envious and negative toward people. I like to. Y'all know even this podcast. This is about positive stuff.
Yes,
I always tell people that like I don't come on here with no shade or none of that. This is about positive stuff. It's about uplifting. So we want to treat everybody like that because the reason why I can put that out is because it's on the inside.
Right.
You hear me? And so what's on the inside comes out. Now, is everything on the inside good all the time? No, I'm working on it. But you hear me? But I will tell you this, I got more goodness than I got of that other stuff.
Right.
And that's what, and I just keep hoping to work more and more toward that.
Yeah.
You've walked through the deeply personal journey of widowhood while still showing up for your family and your calling. How has faith sustained you during that season? And what would you say to someone learning how to trust God again after loss?
Sheesh. That's a lot to unpack there. First of all, I'm not healed.
Right.
So I was with my children's father for
Since your childhood.
we became friends at 19 when I came home from Western on break, on summer break. So we became friends at 19. We started dating when I turned 20, and then we had our first child at 21. And we've been together ever since. So I was with him from 19, and he passed away when I was 38. So from 19 until 38, so that's all my 20s and all my 30s. We were together and we were married for 8 years. 7 years, I'm sorry, before he passed away. So he turned 45 on April the 11th of 24. And he passed away April the 18th of 2024. So in that process, it was a lot because we were together for all of those years. I love to talk about it, but I don't because the people that were close to me that were aware of what was going on, it's news to some people know, some people don't, but we were actually separated when he went to the hospital. So we separated in December of 24. In December of 23, I'm sorry. And he went into the hospital March of 24. So we were still in a process of mourning the failed marriage. But it was still trying to co-parent. It was still trying to deal with the separation, right? Because you're talking about, almost 20 years, 2 children, and then, of course, my bonus son. It was a lot. And, everything was intertangled, the finances, the everything. So when he went into the hospital, I really didn't have the opportunity to be able to heal from the separation because now he's hospitalized. Nobody knows his health like I do. And his parents had already preceded him in death. So it was really just me and him. He had relatives too, but, I'm his wife. So, so it was still, and he was hospitalized where I work. So he was hospitalized at Jewish Hospital with me. So it was every day. It was every day going to check on him and make sure that he was eating, he had what he needed. It was checking with the nurses, checking with the doctors, and then his health just really declined. But I learned so much in that process, which is why A Beautiful Day podcast is so important because I need people to know, one, the importance of mental health. Mental health and taking care of that aspect is huge. The second biggest part about that is men's mental health. I can only speak on it from the perspective that I had to deal with it, but it's knowing what I know now. It is knowing the signs and what to look for when men are depressed. And that was really one of the biggest things that my husband was dealing with at the time, but just didn't really know what that looked like because you don't get to be a man and be depressed, right? You don't get to, because you have to be a protector, you have to be a provider, you have to be so many different things that that aspect of self-care is normally clouded by a toxic masculinity that tells you that you don't get to be weak, that needing mental help is a sign of weakness, right? And so you do other things. In his case, he self-medicated. So he smoked marijuana, and that was able to be a catalyst to be able to run away from what it is that he actually needed. And because I was working and then I was taking care of kids and I was wearing all these wonderful hats that she was telling me about, I kind of just let some things kind of slip. And so now I can see it. Hindsight is always 2020. And then I hate that I had to lose him in the process, because if he would have known that even without us being in a relationship, how valuable he still was as a man, as a brother, as a cousin, as a father. And that was the biggest thing about his depression. Like the children weren't even enough for him to realize how valuable that he was. But now that I know, and now that I have all of this knowledge and all of these tools and all of these resources, the goal is to not only sit in the grief, because grief is a thief.
Oh my God.
And not only is it a thief, but what I found out is you got to be careful how you define it, right? So grief is a thief, yes. But what I also realized when I looked at it from a different perspective, like more holistically, grief is really love with no place to go. So when you think about it, it's you love this person, you love this thing that you lost so much. You don't have you had them to give all of that love to, and now that they're gone, that love has nowhere to go. And so what other way can I expel it? Which is to tell, men, black men specifically, how valuable you are, how important you are, and how your leadership, your guidance, how it shapes and frames so many different aspects, even all the way down to, we were separated. My kids, you can't tell my kids that they daddy wasn't everything.
You hear me?
He was everything and then some. But even though he wasn't my person, it doesn't mean that two things can't be true. He could still have been a great father.
Exactly.
It's just not been my person. We were together for a very long time, and people grow apart.
They grow.
We were still able to co-parent. We were still able to love our children tremendously. It's just that self-love is so important. It's so important. And so widowhood has definitely showed me a few things. One, that God never left me. And if it wasn't for God, I don't even know if I would have made it this far, right? Because it's still fresh. It was April 18th of 2024. And it is one thing to bury a relative. It's one thing to bury your best friend and your children's father, and to have to pick the clothes out, stand over them, write obituaries, like do all of these things. It takes an unfathomable amount of faith, patience, prayer,
strength.
Definitely strength for sure. Because by nature, women are helpers. Like we are. If you a good woman, if you a virtuous woman, if you a Ruth, you are going to be a helpmate. And it just comes. Naturally.
I just naturally want to help you.
Yeah, it's just natural. Like you naturally want to be a submissive person. You naturally want to be a helpmate, and you naturally and it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a man. It's just, it's your nature, right? And so when you see your children suffering and going through it, it is difficult because you want to fix them. And so part of A Beautiful Day podcast, if you guys tune in, which I hope you will.
Y'all gonna watch it.
We'll really talk about that, what my journey has been like with, dealing with everything from the grief to survivor's remorse, to what does starting over look like, because maybe 40 and starting over is crazy. The dating pool got pee in it.
It definitely has piss in it.
Little dude, so I ain't gonna hold you. But it really tackles all of those things, and then just like I said, the strength that comes along with it. Because my children at the time when they passed away were 18, 17, and 12. 18, 17, and 12. So one was a college freshman, one was a senior in high school, and then one was an 8th grader in middle school, or a 7th grader in middle school. So the pivotal years, the years that shaped them the most, their dad wasn't there for. And so that survivor's remorse really kicks in because you want to overcompensate. You know, when my bonus son turned 21, I want to do all the things. When my daughter finally turned 18, and she graduated from high school, I want to do all the things. My son became a freshman and he graduated from 8th grade and he's 14. I wanted to do all the things, right? Because I wanted to overcompensate. You can't do that.
You can.
It's not going to bring them back, right? And so it's just all of the whole journey. Y'all will be along for it. And really, it's therapy for me. I mean, I have a therapist, yes, but this is also another form of therapy. And if I can help save one life, that's the goal, is to take everything that God has poured into me in this situation and not victimize myself with it, but instead give him the glory, because I know that without him, I wouldn't have been able to make it. So you really can't victimize yourself in that when you have turned all of your attention to God, giving him the focus, and then use your light to shine a brighter light on an issue that is really plaguing, our community, which is Black men not doing the self-care, not doing the work, not getting the therapy, not getting the help, and not allowing that toxic masculinity to kind of, and those intrusive thoughts to kind of get in and self-sabotage. So that's what we on.
I can say I can have empathy. I can't say that I understand because I've never been a widow. But grief is. I had wrote because you guys know a couple of weeks back my little girl, her boyfriend died, and it's still not the same as a husband that you built a life with for 20 years.
Yeah.
But I said grief is the cost of great love. And so when you love someone, just in general, I do understand that there's probably, even if you're married to them, there's times that person is going to hurt you. It might not even be intentionally.
For sure.
So love can hurt sometimes, and it is going to hurt sometimes. Just like you love your kids and they do things sometimes that hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And so I love that. I just love your outlook on it. Like you said, I love that you're so honest about it, because that's one thing I told her before we got on. I said, say that. I said, because people, you don't have to be healed. You don't have to be healed the next day. You don't have to be healed the next year. You don't have to be. It's a process, and it's fine. Like all you have to do is keep putting one foot in front of the other, and like she said, giving God all the glory. And it's kind of like Peter on the water. Keep your eye on him. Yeah. And sometimes and just like Peter, he got sidetracked a little bit too. So even if that happens, it's okay. I said the other day, there's no emotion that we feel that God doesn't understand.
Right.
So, and he doesn't come, and he says, I did not come to condemn you. So I always, one of my guests was talking about when she lost her baby, like people was like, well, you need to get over it. You never say that to people.
You never get over it. Like that's the part that people don't speak on. It's one of those things that you never get over. What you do is you learn how to cope. But it's one of those things, and part of the healing process for me was understanding that. Like I wanted to keep telling myself, like, you separated from him, you were moving on. How can you feel a way about him being gone? But it was really sitting in those emotions and understanding that I'm supposed to feel a way. I'm human, and that was still my friend. You got to think 20 years. Yeah, I didn't hate him. I did not hate him. I loved him immensely. He gave me two of my biggest blessings. The reason why I am even a half of the woman that I am today would not be without Deja and Raja. So it was my best friend still. Like we still had so much in common. Again, I think that's one of the misconceptions, is that people think that the separation has to come with hate, and it never did. It was never that. It was always a space of even reconciliation. Like I told him, this is what I need. Like who I was when I met you is not who I am now. Right. And so there's an evolution that has to take place. This is what I need from you if you want to continue on with your family. But in the meantime, let's create space so that we can figure out if this is even something that we need to revisit. And that was just a space that we had to get to. And once we got there, unfortunately, we were too little too late on his health journey. But again, it's knowing that now. It's knowing the signs to look for. It's being in this space with Super Chef where I can see what clean eating looks like, what exercise looks like, what curving your diet looks like, and how all of that affects you mentally. How you can work out, how you can eat good, how you can really tap in and not feel like you're weak because of having a therapist, not feeling like you should feel apologetic about being a man and having self-care. Also, we're going to talk about not putting blanket statements over how women treat men. I promise y'all,
I'm so sick of
we all do not hate y'all,
I don't hate
okay?
men.
We all do not hate y'all. We all do not think y'all weak. We all don't have these issues. We all don't have problems with being submissive. I so hate.
No, I don't. I want to.
I so hate that men
Lord.
have created this stigma that they feel like women or black women, have this, oh, y'all hate black men. It's like, I promise you, baby, if you just kind of tilt your head just a little bit, maybe step outside of your comfort zone and what that might look like. Maybe stop looking and let God kind of order your steps. Maybe change the places that you go and where you look. So there's a lot of accountability that we have to take when we talk about that. And when we turn it on to ourselves and do the work on ourselves, you will find out that I promise you it will come.
It will come.
And it will look exactly how it might not look exactly how you want it to, but it'll feel good. And it'll feel good. The part about love that you said, it's more or less, it's less of a feeling and more of an action.
It's an action.
Is what I found as I've gotten older is I don't describe love as a feeling. If we're not acting on it, if I can't feel it physically, I don't want it.
You hear
I'm good.
I completely agree with 100% of everything you said. And we're gonna talk about a little. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm not married. I haven't been married yet. I'm not married yet. I believe it. On the way. But what I would say is I don't hate men. And I'm okay. Like I think men should know. Like I don't know about all women, but I want what I always tell you. I want you to know me. I want my man to know me. I want the stuff that I mess up. But then I was listening to a podcast with two men talking, and two respectable men. I can't remember one of them's name because I don't just listen to anybody. But he was saying, I think a lot of men are afraid that when they settle down, that woman would actually get to see who they really are. But here's the thing. I want to see who you are. You don't have to be strong. Right. If God places me in your life, he placed me in your life and you in mine. And I'm supposed to be your helpmate. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot, like you might not be able to take off that shield with everybody else. But you should know the woman that you can take it off with. Mm-hmm. One thing, we're gentle with. When I'm for you, I'm for you. Like I cannot like some of the stuff you do because you're gonna not like some of the stuff I do. Yeah. But as long as, like I said, if you decide we're gonna work through it, we're gonna work through it. But love is also action work, which means we have to work through it. Yeah. And acceptance. I'm gonna accept you. I want you to accept me. You gotta accept me, or you gotta go on. Because I already know. That's what TD Jakes was talking about. How when you want love, because y'all love. I know that I'm gonna accept you. Mm. I know that I'm for you. When I'm for you, even when I'm upset with you, you ain't got to worry about me running around on you. You ain't got to run. And I always been like that. You ain't got. Now, once I done had enough, I will go on about my little business. Rachel will get out of there. I'm gonna get out of there. You hear me? When I say that, because one thing, I am a daddy's girl, so I don't talk about how you treat me. I just say I like to be treated well. Yeah. I don't talk about what I don't want. I like to be treated well, and anything other than that, I don't want it. Yeah. And I'm used to being treated well. I want back what I give. When you come into my space, you feel welcome, you feel protected, you feel safe. And you there till you want to be. That's how you have to treat me.
Well, we're not asking for nothing that we can't reciprocate.
I'm not asking for nothing that I can't reciprocate, but I also ain't accepting nothing that you can't reciprocate. You hear me? Part. Because I can't. If I keep doing that, then I'll begin to try to pour from an empty cup, and we know how that ends. Yeah. And one of my last guests said, she said I don't care who I lose, I ain't never lose myself again. I've been there 12 years. I want to say 12 years a slave. 12 years I was stuck in and out. When God broke that soul tie and got me out of there, I never let nobody play with me like that again. And it was like, and it wasn't that I didn't love the person. It's just that, they just, if I ask you to do this and I ask you to, I'm very patient. I understand that we all got our little things, but there are certain things I have to have. And people always try to make me like I'm so materialistic, but I got the materials, baby. I don't need yours.
Well, I mean, I've changed. I kind of pivoted because I'm a patient person too. Yeah. First time I'm asking you second time, I'm reminding you third time, I'm begging. We not begging.
We're not begging. I'm not begging
I'm
because
not
you don't want to.
begging.
You
At
don't
that
want
point, you
to.
don't want to. First time, I'm asking. Second time, I'm reminding you. Third time, I'm begging you. And I ain't
Begging. And that's what my mom
not
said. She
begging
said,
you.
I ain't begging no man for nothing. I said, I
begging.
know that's right. Because
not
God
necessary.
it's not necessary because there's somebody who wants to and there's somebody who wants to and will.
Listen, he wants to
And will.
and he will, and he's out there. He wants to and he will. Now, here's the thing. We have to get out of our own way. You cannot follow societal norms. You may have to pivot from something that you're more comfortable with. For example, my husband was 6'3", bigger guy. And now the guys I talk to are like my height, so they're like 5'8" and I'm like, that ain't never been my thing. That ain't never been my thing. But a lot of the men that I've been talking to or that I've been dating or whatever, have been really nice. I mean, some of them not so much, but it's really just, and don't be scared to go out there. Like what they say, date them all, sis. Absolutely.
You hear me? And
Sometimes
if you look at the people I dated, they look out there. Because I try to call myself looking at the heart of a man. So it's not a certain appearance. And I like chocolate. But you hear me? I like chocolate. But at the same time, like I care about how a person treats other people. I watch that because I know what's in you and how you gonna treat me. So I watch how you treat everybody around you. I'm gonna watch how you talk to the waitress. I'm gonna watch how you do this.
Yeah.
And for y'all saying, well, don't tell that he gonna be just that, baby. I got the gift of discernment. You can play that stuff with me and it ain't gonna work because you can only fake it for so long. And as soon as I see you being something other than I think you should be, I'm gonna get you out of there.
Yeah.
And that's not saying that you can't make a mistake or you don't have a hard day, but you know how sometimes God will let you see a little glimpse of evil, and it's something that it'll be a small seed of something, but it's like a little preview of like something being horrible. Don't ignore it. And so that's how I am about that. But yes, I want people to know, not only do we love our black men, we're proud of you. We're rooting for you. We support you. And y'all quit listening to these people tell y'all this stuff.
Please.
Y'all see, here we are. We be right there cheering y'all on. Baby. And I think even the women that make stuff like it, they just want to meet somebody who lives up to their standard. And not all women, but some of them have been hurt. And so a lot of times you'll hear things from people that are unhealed. Then you have some people that like they do believe things are a contract, but I'm looking for love. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no contract. I don't want to be with somebody just to be with them because I can't be happy there.
No.
And so I always say that you might be able to put up with it, but that's not something I can tolerate. And what I can tolerate, you might not be able to tolerate. But God made us all differently.
That's right.
But we definitely love you, black men. Yes. We definitely want to see you do well. We definitely want to see you find your mate and get the woman that God has for you. And you don't have to beg a woman to submit. When you treat her right, she will submit.
Baby,
God made us want to rest in you. You hear me? You don't have to force. She will naturally do what she's supposed to do. I was made to want to submit to you. You hear me? But like I always say, I'm not submitting to no fool. Now what I would, because then it's gonna be a whole circus, and we're not doing that. And so the thing is, but when I feel safe, and you've created that safe space, you get it all. You hear me? And until then, you won't. I just from running restaurants and clubs to producing impactful events and projects, your life reflects both hustle and heart. Looking back from college roommates to now, what does ideally crazy mean to you in this season of your life, and how do you hope your story encourages others?
Gosh. So first of all, we all are our own type of crazy, right? I found myself when I was younger, always saying what I wouldn't do. Like I would never, like, girl, never, you would never catch me, and then grew up and was never like everything. I ain't never before. You hear me? I mean, just out here nevering, like
never before.
Like never before, for real. Like, so, I mean, we are our own version. We have our own version of crazy. What I've learned is to embrace it. So when you talk about being ideally crazy is embracing your crazy, right? It's not, you don't want to demonize yourself. You don't want to stigmatize yourself. You want to embrace it. whatever that looks like for you. But also that comes with a level. I feel like if you can say ideally crazy, that comes with a level of accountability. Like it comes with a different level of acceptance of self. And I think that that's important. Like I've spoken about a lot of things within this show, and I'm so appreciative of the opportunity. But the
I'm
one
glad that
thing
is.
that we haven't talked a lot about is self and what that looks like, and taking accountability for a lot of things. So when you talk about ideally crazy, it's accepting the fact that I am my own version of crazy, and that's, you know what, and that's okay,
Absolutely.
and that's perfectly fine. And what's even finer than that is you might not like it. That is also okay.
That's also okay.
That all of it's okay. It don't make me one bit of a difference, nor should it make you one. If I'm not your cup of tea, that is perfectly fine, because just right around the corner, I am. I am. So that's definitely what ideally crazy means to me. As far as my story, the biggest impact for me and why doing Ideally Crazy was so important was, one, I'm really big on collaboration over competition.
Absolutely.
Anytime that I can put myself in a space to be able to help further someone that I love, anytime that I can put myself in a space where I can utilize a platform to be able to spread knowledge, be able to spread information, be able to, spread anything positive, especially in the world and the climate that we live in right now. Like anytime you pull up your social media, the news, at any given point, a couple thumb scrolls is nothing but negativity in your algorithm. You know what I mean? And so if I can bring some sort of positivity, some sort of light, if I can get you to an event that may be going on that can allow you to put your phone down and actually live and actually experience outside of what's going on your socials, then I've done my job. If I can save one man's life, if I can make one black man understand how invaluable he is and how important he is, if I can make one black woman feel like, and I lean so heavily on black because, I mean, I know race is nothing but a social construct, but at the end of the day, it's the society and the culture that we live in.
They've been beating us down from the beginning.
So this is just where we're at with it. And so I feel like it's very important to specify color, because everybody else is. Like, there's no way to get around it, right? So if I can save one black man's life and help him realize how invaluable he is, if I can tell one black woman that you are worth starting over. And starting over is not always bad. Change is amazing. Change is wonderful if you embrace it, if you learn to love yourself. But first and foremost, we got to heal and we got to do the work. Like, we don't want him to come to us healed. We can't come to nobody. You can't come to nobody with all this baggage, bag lady, and expect you to get a high value man. Come on. Like, we got to do the work. And so I want to be able to live that. And part of me was afraid to live my truth because it's ugly. Like, it's not fun. It wasn't fun going through it. It don't look like how I would like it to look. If you would have asked me when I was 20 if I would be 40, talking about what it's like being a widow and raising two children by myself, especially when I did everything right. I don't have multiple baby daddies. I married the children, the father of my children, and no knock to people who do, because my mama got 3. So not knocking nobody. But it's just, I did all of the things. I put all the steps in place to be able to make sure that I created the family that I did not have. And life happens. And so what do you do with that? You make the best of it. You understand that life throws you lemons, and what you gonna do?
Lemonade.
No, baby, we're making lemon drops.
Period.
We're making lemon drops.
I love a lemon drop. You hear me?
So I'm hoping that within this podcast, you've learned a little bit about me, about what's to come, about the importance of Ideally Crazy in this platform, and what it can do to shape the minds of people who are trying to figure out who they are. I think I made a post earlier that Rachel commented on when I was saying that I really did not know what my purpose was. And that's kind of uncomfortable when you're trying to figure that out. But she's like, no, you know what it is.
You do it.
You know what it is. You just gotta do the work. So and Ideally Crazy came about and was able to, because we talked about this months ago.
I know it.
Right. But the timing was perfect. even though we talked about it months ago, the timing was right now, and so if you don't take nothing else from this podcast, from this episode, understand that delayed does not mean denied. Understand the importance of waiting your turn. Understand the importance of collaboration over competition.
Absolutely.
Understand the importance of playing your role. Understand that it's okay to be a supporting cast member even if you have your own.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong
It's
with none of that.
better.
It's nothing
It's
wrong with
better
none
to
of it.
collaborate. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Come on, look, and hopefully, if that's how you do it, I want to come on yours.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, I agree with 100% of what you said. And we're going to go ahead and say it again. A beautiful day podcast. And y'all know how I am. I will be, when she posts her stuff, I'm going to be putting it up there. You hear me? And so y'all be looking for it, because that's how we grow. We work together.
Absolutely.
And each voice speaks to different people. And so there's room for my mother has always been like that. I get that from my parents. They gonna help you. Me and my mother both are having a health fair. You know what I'm saying? Hers is the beginning of March, but honey, our health is bad. We got to work on getting it good. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. It ain't too much. So there's a room. There's not all the stuff that we go through. We were just talking about some of the little stuff we go through. Do you think you don't need all these podcasts to keep? You need every. That's why I say every time I can listen to a word of encouragement, I'm listening. You hear me? Because the devil is constantly the devil's constantly in your ear. One thing I always tell my kids, I said, one thing about it, you can say whatever you want to say about the devil, but he's gonna do his job. Yeah. You gonna have to do yours, and you have to be intentional about that. So all these podcasts that are coming out that are helping you build, helping you with your mental space, building you up. People telling you their testimony. They're not telling you what they think. She sat here and told you her testimony, so she don't have to tell you what she think God can do. She can tell you what she knows God can do. You hear me? And so that is why we are doing this. That's why I wanted to have, like I said, her spirit is so always. Ever since I've ever known her spirit has always been good. That name, A Beautiful Day Podcast, is perfect for that. And what you say, it's A Beautiful Day, your consulting company.
Yeah, the restaurant management.
It's perfect for her. Because even I went into events that she was working at. She was working, smiling and grinning and everything else. Grinning, talking to me and everything else. I would have been like, hold on.
One thing at a time.
But I'm talking about just flow. It's it. I don't say she's already doing what she needs to be doing. You're just building on it. And I said, I got peace. I was telling her that I recently went through the same thing. And I was fussing. I was like, God, I always tell people what they supposed to do. What am I supposed to be doing? And he said, you already doing, what is that called, Rachel? And I started listening what it was called and so then once I knew what I was doing, I was able to build on that because I know what I'm doing now. Yeah. And so you already doing it. God doesn't give you tasks that you don't like. It's already, he's not going outside to get what he has for you. It's already on the side. You was born with it. You hear me? He's been, and I always say, I've said the last couple of weeks, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts says that God doesn't place you and then process you. He processes you and then he places you so that you can be ready for what he has for you. And one thing I told Chantel, I said, as hard as the devil tries to work and kick you off the path, that's how much of a great impact that you're going to have. And so the harder the devil makes it for you, just know that God is pushing that much further. And even when she was talking about dating, I seen a meme the other day and it said, Rachel was chosen and cherished. You hear me? She went, I said on my last, I said, I get chosen a lot. It's about who I choose. But here's the thing. You can choose me, but you got to cherish me. You hear me? You hear me? I'm worthy of it, and I will cherish you. But that's the thing. I had, like you said, dating. I had to be accountable. Rachel, you say you want this, but you allowing this. You say you want this, but you allowing this. So people are only doing what you allow them to do it. When are you going to decide what you deserve? And so when you decide that that's enough, because one thing I do love about me is that I won't cuss on her, but I'll call it the F it button. And once I hit that F it button, like I don't give, you hear me? Yeah. Go on, because I'm not tolerating nothing else. Like at the end of the day, I still know who I am. I still know that I'm a prize. You hear me? And I know that because I built the person that I am, and I'm constantly building her. I'm very intentional about the woman that I am. And I don't have to put my head down. I can hold my head high because I know who I am when nobody's watching. You hear me? And so the thing is, I know that God, I said, God's not giving you less, you settling for less.
And
so when you decide, Rachel, you said, I'm saying it to Rachel, you said, if you need to say it to you, you said to yourself, when you decide that it's not enough, then it won't be enough and you'll get what you deserve. But until then, you're going to keep settling. So in this season of my life, I always say that you can't be one person in this and be something else and everything else. I ain't settling in 2026. I no other time after that. So any doors that I had to close, any doors, I closed them. Because if it looks like anything other than what God promised me, well, that can't be for me, friend.
Right.
Can't be. And I don't want it. And I'm okay with losing it. Because I know that what God does have for me is going to be just what I need. And when he gives it to me, I ain't going to worry about how long it took for me to get it.
Absolutely.
I ain't going to worry about all the things that I done been through before he gave it to me. I'm just going to be happy to have it. And they going to be happy to have me. And that's not just in relationship. That's in everything in my life. Because we in a grateful season.
That's right.
So I want to thank Day for coming on today. I know I want to say it so bad. I want to thank Day for DayStanya for coming on today. I want to thank her for taking the time, honey. What I love about I thought about this. I said, this is a person that you definitely should work with. I text her today and I said, listen, I got today available. She said, listen, I'm gonna go to the gym. After I go to the gym, I can shower and be ready and I'll be over at. I love a woman that's gonna make it work because I'm one of them type of women. You hear me? She's Mr. Work.
We're not procrastinating.
You hear me?
Like, if
I was the hire coordinator, it would be her. Because guess what she said? I'm gonna make it work. I always tell people that. I said, because that's how I work. I tell my little girl today.
Yeah.
And so I have a lot of guests that I've sent out letters to, and some of them I hadn't even seen that she had got back to me. I paid for them because I didn't pay for all these apps to notify me, but I guess I had to turn my notifications on my phone. I know I'm a little bit older. And so she had sent the form back January 13th, and I was like, let me text her. Because we was getting down to the last date she had put down there. I was like, let me text her and see if I can still do it. But you know what? She was busy today, but I said, can you do it today? I was scared to even ask because I normally don't ask things. And guess what she said? Yes.
Yes.
So God bless her. You hear me? Because I really wanted to own her. And to all of you who take you along, I say this. A good time for me is a good time for you. Yes, I ain't going nowhere. I plan on being right here. I don't give up easy. Look, I might have to put it down, but I ain't putting it down this time. God told me not to.
That's right.
So I'm running with this thing. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna let nothing. I ain't gonna let nothing get in the way of my calling from this point on. Because now I know my purpose. And guess what? She gonna do the same thing. Yes, so y'all gonna hear about a Beautiful Day podcast coming up. Y'all gonna see it everywhere, and y'all gonna support. You know how they do the TikTok thing. Y'all gonna support my friend, my sister. Because she's worthy of being supported. A lot of times you will support people that, and we ain't gonna get into all that, but that don't have good character. And you can see that they don't got good character, but you don't want to support people that have good character. If you want more good, that's what you have to support. Because even with the algorithm, that's what it picks up. It's gonna give you more of what you're looking at. And then I want to say this: look at what you're supporting. That's telling you a whole lot about yourself.
When you talk about what women won't like, what they do like, what they don't like, and all of that, it's like, what's in your algorithm? What are you surrounding yourself with?
What are you surrounding yourself with?
And then furthermore, what are you putting out there? Because I promise you, for every person that I talk to as it relates to like relationships and marriage and stuff like that, they're like, oh, think about why so many marriages end up in divorce and this and that. And I'm like, I don't think about it because I don't focus on it because I have so many success stories for what marriage looks like around me that I may be naive, call me Delulu, call me whatever you want to call me. But the fact of the matter is I see so many success stories around me. So I'm literally oblivious to all of the ones. And not saying I don't see any that aren't successful, but the vast majority of the people that I surround myself with are successful. They are married. They're happy. There's not infidelity. Like, people will tell you that infidelity is one of the reasons behind the biggest reason behind divorce. Whole time it's finances.
Period. And the finances, that's my daddy told me too. He said people argue most of their money.
It's always finances is the leading cause of divorce. And that issue with finances literally boils down to communication. So at the root cause of it, it's always been communication. And the reason why you can't communicate is not because of that person, it's because of you. Absolutely. Like, all boils down to accountability. So that's what we own in 2026. We are being ideally crazy. while we having a beautiful day.
You hear me?
And we doing all of the things. And I think this is going to be amazing. And shout out to you, Rachel, because you didn't give up. And because you didn't give up, you gave me the ability to be able to use your platform to spread awareness on my platform. And if you want to see mine, it is a beautiful day on Facebook. It's a beautiful day podcast on Facebook. And then you can follow me on my social media. I think you're going to have my name somewhere.
I am. I am. And my following list is right now, it's still small. So if y'all go to my following list, y'all can fan pretty much any of my guests.
Yeah.
Not
so
her waving. That's my little girl.
So you can follow me, you can add me. Because in addition to the podcast, in addition to the restaurant management, in which A Beautiful Day of Restaurant Management and Consultation was the catalyst behind assisting opening Levette's Kitchen and Catering. So if you all have not been to Miss Levette,
I need to go.
I encourage you to take your tail to 2nd and Broadway and go holler at Miss Levette.
I know that's right.
I've thrown events, so I do throw a lot of events. I got a few events on the way. And you'll see me everywhere in the city.
And y'all gonna see them because anything my guest posts, I'll be reposting it.
Yeah,
so y'all gonna know I'm at it.
Yeah. So from what I do, Maestro J to New Year's Eve to I got a few things brewing at the Norton Sports and Learning Complex. And so we just doing it all. And we live in 2026, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity, Rachel. Thank you so much.
I'm so thankful for you coming and take your time out the night. Y'all forgive me, my little girl's in there making all kind of, baby,
she's in her.
You heard me?
Yeah, she's making her presence felt.
That's what I did. Like,
she's making her presence felt.
I said, it's little girl.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. She's not doing crazy. It's fine.
You hear me? But I want to thank you so much for coming. I thank you for bringing your beautiful spirit, because that's what I say. I'm an energetic person, and so I can feel it, and that's what sometimes that's what I need. Yes, and so you guys will be seeing a lot more of Ms.DayStanya Wright, and you guys, and I want y'all to support my friend. I love you, and until the next time, take care of yourself. See yourself through God's eyes.